Welcome to the 24/7 Marriage Podcast. I'm Shannon.
I am Javier, and we are glad that you are with us well, you're not with us here. We are here in the Marriage Lab
Oh, our fathers
in
are always with us.
beautiful California.
Yes, where the Santa Anas are blowing and the fires be moving.
Yeah, so been a
Yeah.
lot going on, but we are, yeah, kind of going into the end of the year for ourselves for 24/7 marriage, which also means it's going to be the end of year giving for us as well. So since we are a partner supported ministry, the end of the year is huge for us in having individuals and companies,
Yes.
organizations become donors or give end of the year gifts. So if you enjoy this podcast and have benefited or been resource supported by, encouraged by the work of 24/7 marriage, we're going to ask you, would you go to 247marriage.org and consider being a part of this ministry, be a part of impacting and helping couples find healing and restoration through the work that we get to do. And we want you to be
Because
part of that.
we are
So,
all about restoring hope, redeeming stories,
yeah.
and building strong marriages.
Yeah. So consider doing that, especially the end of the year, right?
Yes.
It's a tax write off. And so it's an amazing thing. So go to 247marriage.org
Yes.
or click a link in our Instagram page and you'll be able to donate there.
Yeah. And today's podcast is brought to you by a new sponsor, a new partnership that we're having with the James Method. I got to spend quite a bit of time with Lauren, who developed the James Method, which is just a way for you to study your Bible for men and women. And these journals are beautiful. She is the first one that has ever put a Bible studying journal out on the market. The way that she maps it out, and all of it is in great detail.
Yeah.
And we decided that we wanted to partner together because I want to be able to give our listeners a resource. I want you guys to be able to study God's word
Yep.
and jump into it every day and actually enjoy it and get something out of it. So we are partnering with the James Method. Also, she and I are going to be doing a Zoom class together in December. So anybody who purchases between now and December is going to do a Zoom class with us. We're going to show you how to use the journal mapping system. And she's provided a free download on marriage verses in the Bible so you guys can dissect and dive deep into what God's word
Is there a
says
discount they
about
get?
marriage. Yeah, but the link will be down below.
Okay, awesome. So be part of that. And here's the thing: it's vitally important to your marriage that as you grow and develop your walk with God, it will impact every other area of your marriage. And so
Yes.
be sure that you are leaning into that, and then that is a priority for you of growing and deepening your walk with God, your prayer life, and your study time, all
Yeah.
of those pieces. So Shan, how you doing?
Oh, Javier, you know that is, I've asked you, but you don't listen. You have not been a student of your spouse. You know that I don't like that question being asked.
Well, you can ask me.
How
I'm doing good.
okay. I didn't even ask it.
It's been a season, and as I was navigating some difficult things and still
Mhm.
am, I don't know if I actually have slowed down. Well, I have slowed down, but I'm still not fully there, and I'm still processing a lot of things. And
When you say slow down, like break that down for me.
well, I mean, we're at the end of the year, so
We
ministry
haven't
wise,
we're done with boot
we're done with
camps.
events, which is good.
We're
There's a
done
lot
with
of things that happen for
events.
the end of the year, but it's just yeah, I mean, for me, like I want to be present. We're going to be with family here in November, with friends. We're going to see people that we haven't seen in a while. We're going to be back in the community that we left 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be up with with our daughter and son-in-law and new grandbaby. And so I just want to be able to be fully present and available. There's good work to do, but at the same time, I'm also recognizing there's things that I still have to navigate, and you need to create space to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I can tend to get caught up in everything that I don't actually. I don't want to say I do self care, but I don't always give enough time to the things I know I need to process and walk
I
through.
just thought of this, but while we're in Prescott, why don't you and Freddie get away for a day together?
Okay,
If there's
thanks for
somewhere.
sharing that.
No, like you get away and have some mental time
Okay,
to like decompress and do
all right.
something you love.
Well, now he's going to hear this, so he's going to expect it.
Do you think our son-in-law listens to our podcast?
I hope so.
Well, you know what? Let's not say that we talked about him right
Okay.
now, and
All
then
right.
we'll just wait to see if he says something.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
So today's going to be fun because we're going to talk about holidays and navigating holidays,
handling the
handling the
holidays.
holidays. And I think it's an important topic, especially because this can cause a lot of marital strife
Oh,
and
yes.
issues and struggles that we've seen with couples. Because I love spending time with the family, and I never worry about it because we have clear boundaries
Yeah.
around everything. But
Maybe early on it did, but we
yeah,
know that this is a big source of contention because I see this question come up all the time, and not just in our social media, but in all of our friends' social media
yeah,
that do the same, have the same type of marriage ministry. We're seeing this question come up around this time of year, and I think it's good to like break it down and like give our listeners a few takeaways that feel practical and that they can take back and like apply these things.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Before
But
we jump in, you said there was something you wanted to
well,
ask
yeah.
me
Okay.
or do.
So, back when we had like 2 or 3 weeks off, when you were a little kid, you're in elementary school, and you
Wait,
had
wait. Back when we had two. What do you mean?
when you had 2 or 3 weeks off at Christmas. Remember you would,
As a kid?
yeah. When
Oh,
I said
I thought
elementary
you said
school,
back. No, you just said back when you had 2 or 3 weeks off, and then you said when you were a kid.
when
I
you were
was
a
just
kid.
confused.
Okay.
Okay,
So when you were a
all right.
kid and you were home, I feel like I already know the answer to this. So back when you were a kid and you were home for those 2 or 3 weeks between Christmas and New Year's, my favorite thing to do was watch TV in the morning because game shows were on. And I love old game shows. So, did your mom even let you watch TV? And
Yes,
if you
Shannon.
did, what was your favorite game show to watch?
Price is Right.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's a good one. Out of all the games that they
Bob Barker
play
in the Showcase
that
Showdown.
they played on The Price is Right, what was your favorite game and you were excited when it
I
came
don't
on?
remember.
Because I had one.
Maybe either Plinko
Plinko, good one.
or the one with the little Swedish guy climbing the
And he goes,
mountain.
"Yodeling,
Yodeling. Yeah, and then
he
he
climbs the mountain.
falls off the edge if
Oh,
you.
because you went too high.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember that one where they had 4 big big ticket items, and you had 4 tags and you had to put them in the right thing? It was like a
Yeah, and
dishwasher,
you had to run around
or
and do it.
a lazy boy
Yeah.
chair, and
The golf one was good too, where you had a putt and like,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
Oh, Price is Right.
Price is
Good old
Right.
days.
My favorite,
Come on down, Shannon.
you're not gonna
You're
ask
the
me.
next contestant on The Price is Right.
I always wanted to go on The Price is Right. We should have done
We
that.
should have done
We
it.
lived in California all those years and
Okay.
could have gone down there. Um, my favorite, I had 2. Password. The password is, and Pyramid. I think it was called, is it called $100,000 Pyramid or $50,000
Ooh,
Pyramid?
I just remembered another one.
What?
What was the one that had the whammy, Press Your Luck.
Press Your Luck.
People aren't going to remember this. We're aging ourselves, Shannon.
And it would go around the screen and you'd have to stop and not get a whammy because then you lost all your money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Press Your Luck.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
It was. It
Yeah. Oh.
I know. I'm not always good with the banter and try. Like I get to the point. I'm like, okay, let's move on. Let's give him something. Sorry.
I know, but people like to see your personality. Oh,
That's my
funny
personality.
story about the Cambria boot camp. So this couple walked in and she said to Javier, like, after we started Friday night, because you teach on Friday night, and she said, I have seen Javier on Instagram and he's so funny, which I would say 50-50. I like try to do half serious, half
Well, and you
actually,
make me do things.
yeah.
So
And then there's things that I make you do, whether I dance or you say something funny, because we like to bring humor to what we do. And she said, I thought Javier is so funny on Instagram. And she goes, and I get to boot camp and he's very serious. And she didn't mean it in a bad way. You threw her for a loop.
I'm funny too during boot camps, but I guess there's that more of that serious, not serious. It's an intensive. Like we got work to do.
Well, humor is not like,
I know what she's saying because we
not
create a lot of moments during boot camp,
not
and we
comedy, but
we
you bring levity to your teaching too.
but we try to bring people to a place where they can deal and navigate and open
Yeah.
up. And listen, when I communicate as someone who wants to help you find healing and restoration. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it's where I
I
go.
just thought it was funny because she thinks that you're funny. which you are, but between the two of us, I'm the
Okay.
funny
All
one.
right, Shan. I'll give you that.
Are you
Sure.
serious? You think that you're the funny one?
No, I think we both are.
50-50? No, you have to put a percentage on this because I do not think
Okay,
that you
60-40, Shan. There you go.
60-40.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Winning?
Mm, yeah,
Okay,
okay.
60-40.
No,
You see?
60-40. Javier, you are not funnier than me. There is no way. Do you
Oh.
really think that?
Oh, I took a pill and it's making me feel like I'm having a hot flash.
Why'd you take it?
It's like a gut pill, like cleansing your gut, and so
Are
it's
you
making me
gonna
it's making me feel like I'm having a hot flash.
hope you're
All
not
right,
gonna
so
roker
Shan,
yourself?
so let's
Okay.
yeah, where do you want to go?
Okay.
We're talking about handling the holidays,
Yeah.
and this is an important topic because you're stepping into coming up here Thanksgiving and then into Christmas and
Yeah.
times of getting together with family, with friends, and you have to go into it being very clear on expectations. And maybe you've done this really well with your family or in your marriage up until this point, but
Maybe you
now there's a
haven't.
new dynamic. But being very clear, and what I would say is that for us early in our marriage, we're pretty darn clear, and not allowing people to move us. I initially was probably more of like, well, we have to go there because if we don't, then we're not going to see the family
Yeah.
and they're going to be
Not me.
unhappy. Then I got to a point where like, this is our family and we're going to set our traditions. And that meant myself, Shannon, and our two girls. And we were really clear about, for us, like to say, it's Christmas, that we were going to Christmas Eve was with a family, and we set that, and we're very clear with that, and that was fine.
Yeah.
And we've always done that, and we enjoy that. But we said Christmas morning we're going to be at home, just the four of us, and then in the afternoon, parents can come over and whatever else takes place, and we let them know this is what way it's going to be. And if they didn't like it, that was too bad. Um, Now, fast forward, and we have a grandson and our daughter, and I get what my parents felt because I would love to be with my grandson Christmas morning and see him wake up and see
And we
the
got kicked
and be
out.
excited. But here's the thing: we trained her well, and
We
and
did.
both her and Freddie have decided that they have Christmas morning together as a family, and then we get to come over, late morning or
I
afternoon.
remember your face when I told you.
And I'm like,
And I
I don't
said
like that.
and I said to you, hey, so Christmas Day, we're gonna go over like early afternoon. And you were like, what? Early
Late
afternoon?
morning's better.
I was like, you were like early afternoon. I was like, McKenna and Freddie have wanted to spend the morning with Phoenix by themselves. And you were like, it was almost like it kind of bit us
Yeah.
in the butt, but it was funny. But it also reminded me we trained her well,
Yeah. But
and
now, listen, we weren't in that season. Now I understand. Just like when you're not parents, your parents tell you
you
things,
don't
and until you're
understand.
in that place,
Yes,
now you get it. So now I understand. Like as a grandparent, I would love to be there early in the morning, but they're creating that for their family. I'm going to honor and respect that, and that's their family. And so we give permission. Like this is what we're going to do, or where we're going to be, and you're welcome to be a part of it. But if you have something going on with your family, we understand that, and that's their family unit. Got to be okay with that. People listening to
and
this,
McKenna, if you're listening, Dad and I will be sitting in the marriage lab crying big Christmas
we'll
tears.
be outside actually in the truck waiting for you to invite us in when it
Oh my
comes
goodness,
time. So we'll
we
just be
won't
like
be.
open, open, open,
We'll
open,
just be at our
open.
window.
No,
Maybe crack the blinds so we can just see Phoenix on the floor.
we won't do that.
We're
We
joking.
won't do that.
We'll
But
work
it
on our puzzle.
but I would tell you that it's an interesting thing that just this creates contention and division with families and within marriages.
Yeah.
So you have to start with early discussions, right?
Okay.
Right
You
now
did
about it.
ask. You did ask me to share
Yeah, no, go ahead.
points.
But I'm just saying that's why we're doing it now because you need to start now.
Yes.
If you haven't or you don't already have a plan from years past or if things has changed, start now by bringing it to the table and talking about it.
And to piggyback on that, the night before Thanksgiving isn't when you should be figuring this stuff out,
Correct.
because that will end in World War III in your home.
And
I
it shouldn't be
promise you.
about guilt and
No.
and and based upon what
So
other people want
here's
you to do.
3 things that we want you to take away from today in handling the holidays. And the first one is to pre-decide. And that is to come together
Yeah.
with your spouse of the when, where, and who. You need to pre-decide the when, the where, and the who. And this goes for Christmas, Thanksgiving, and all those holiday parties and invitations you get in between there. When, where, and who. And if it means that you guys have to put the kids to bed early or go out on a date night and both take your calendars, I have two calendars printed in our cabinet, and it is just November and December because they're so busy, and not with anything 24/7, just with family and friends and the holidays, that I have penciled in everything that we've agreed to so that we're both on the same page and so that I can keep track of it.
Yeah, and saying when you're doing this, I don't really care whatever you want. That don't do that, please. Don't do that. And if that's
Oh,
true, like you're
yeah.
really like, because one of you may have a lot of family, and one of you may have just one set of parents that's close by, or just an aunt, whatever it may be. Don't say, "Oh, whatever, I don't care." No, you do. Say, "That would be great. I would love to do that." And maybe if it's okay, can we spend a few minutes, or can we
A
go
few
by their
minutes.
house, later? Like, but here's the thing: set what's important to you first and foremost. When she's saying pre-decide,
Yes.
like what's important for your family. We're going to spend this time together. We're going to do this, and then here's what we have available to be able to go to the family things that are going on. And again, please don't do this out of feeling guilt, because Aunt Gertrude is going to be so mad at you if you don't show up and eat her famous Jello with peas and
Yeah.
carrots in it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be. This is. Not everybody gets an opinion in this. Even your parents, even the
Yeah.
grandparents. Like,
Yeah.
they don't get an opinion, because this happens. Oh, you're not going to come over. Oh, then we're not going to get to see you. And when we're going to do gifts, and like the guilt that they try to put on you,
Yeah.
not okay.
And this is not a hard fast rule, but this is more of a suggestion on top of this is when you're dealing with, let's say, for instance, my side of the family, I'm the one that communicates with my siblings, my parents, my side of the
Yeah,
family.
and that's
When
important.
Javier is communicating when and where we'll be, he'll communicate with his side of the family. So don't put your spouse in the position that they have to talk to the other set of parents. Now, in some relationships, that would be okay, and you have that relationship, it would be fine. We're just saying this as a suggestion to make things easier. Okay, are you ready for number two?
Sure.
Be in agreement and don't talk behind your spouse's back, because I see this a lot. You show up to Grandma Martha's house and your spouse is like, "Well, sorry we're 3 hours late, but my wife, we had to go here first and we had to go see this person." If you're pre-decide and you're in agreement, have each other's back. Stand up for one another. If your mom was to come to me and be like, "I don't understand why you guys couldn't be here earlier," or "I don't understand why you couldn't have been here yesterday," um, we're not going to talk negatively about each other. I'm always going to
Yeah.
have your back. I'm going to stand up for you. Well, this is what Javier and I agreed on. This is what we decided
My
was best
beard
for
just got
our family. What's wrong with your
my
beard?
beard got stuck in the
Do we
microphone.
need?
Sorry.
Oh, my hair is getting stuck too. Um, it's so important because it's so easy to backbite and throw your spouse under the bus. And I'm telling you that on a holiday, the tension is already high because you've got family members that you don't normally get together with all the time. There's a lot of people in one space, and that is not the time.
Yeah.
It's never the time to
Yeah.
throw your spouse
Yeah.
under the bus, but protect each other.
Yeah, and if you've pre-decided, that means you have to go into it with agreement that this is what we agree to,
Yes.
and whether it helps you to write it down or to remind one another, hey, remember we said we're going to go here, but we can only stay 3 hours because we got to go here. But the other thing I would tell you with that is, like, man, you want to be present and enjoy. If it's exhausting to you and overwhelming, and you don't look forward to the holidays because you feel you've got to go everywhere and see everybody,
That's not enjoyable.
stop it. You don't need, I'm freeing you right now from it. You don't need to do that. That means you're trying to please everybody, and you're not going to do that. Someone is, whether your spouse will be displeased because you're trying to do that and go everywhere to make everybody happy, then they're frustrated. The kids are crying and screaming, and like someone is going to end up being displeased.
Yeah. Or you're going to just be flat out tired.
I don't always like saying do not, but I'm going to say it, like, don't do that, please. like this place of just trying to get everywhere to make everybody happy. And at the end of that, it goes by so quick. You're never present, you're never available, you're not enjoying the time, and you're resenting people. Like, no one can force you to go anywhere. No one can force you to go anywhere.
They
You
can guilt
choose
you.
and you decide.
Yeah.
So when you have this plan, when you pre-decide and then you're in agreement with one
Yeah.
another, that means you're supporting one another in this, and you're going to be able to just enjoy. And like
I
it,
feel like I can look back on all our Christmases and I really enjoyed them because we laid out what we were going to do. We pre-decided, we had each other's back. And Christmas Eve, we enjoyed
yeah,
that time with family. We played games, we
yeah,
laughed
yeah.
so
But
hard, we ate
Shannon,
so much food.
But
And
but
then,
Shannon, you were only married once, and I've been married 3 times, and we've got different families and stepkids, and like all these places to go, and family to see, and like blended families, and so we got to go to all these places. So what do I do?
well, you're only one person and there's only one Christmas. So you're going to have to decide what's the most important thing. And do you want your kids' memory to be spent driving to and from all these places in the back seat of a car?
Yeah,
Because that's
yeah,
not really cherishing and soaking up what the holiday season
yeah,
is about, and
yeah.
that um, God's that a savior was born. Like it's to
And
slow
the turkey
down.
was killed
A turkey was, a savior was born, and a turkey was killed
for you to enjoy.
for you to enjoy. And it's like, do you want those memories to be this running around? I'm going to free up everybody right now.
Are you?
It's okay to say no to some things.
Everybody on this, if you're listening to this, so let's do this together.
No.
No, no, very, very easy. And I- and it
Can you?
makes it easy when you've done those first 2 steps. It makes it easy when you're in
Yeah.
agreement with one another,
Yeah.
and that you've gotten out of that place of trying to please everybody. And listen, if you guys enjoy going 5 different places on Christmas Eve and 4 different places on Christmas
And you're
Day,
in agreement.
and that's what you love, and the kids love it, and you love being in the car and singing carols on the way, and you love doing that, do it then. If it brings you joy, then do it. What I'm saying is, don't do those things and then resent the people you're even going to see, because it's
Yeah.
not their fault. It's you who did not have the ability to say no, and now you're resenting the people who invited you, but you made the choice and decision.
Yeah.
So, not trying to be harsh here,
Well, and
but that's
then
the
what
reality.
happens is you just start bickering and you get annoyed with your
Yeah.
spouse
And
really
that's not
easily.
what you want.
And it's not
No.
what the holidays are about. So I understand blended families and we have all these dynamics,
Yeah.
but you're going to have to figure out what's most important because you're only one person and you cannot be in all places at all times.
Yeah.
So, um, you just that's why sitting down and deciding ahead of time what it is we're going to do and what we're not going to do, it makes life so much easier. But the thing is, these couples that we come in contact with and that reach out to us, they're not talking about these things. You don't just get married and we'll figure it out. The night before Christmas is not when you're going to figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
well, my mom is expecting us for breakfast.
Yeah.
Well, my mom and dad are expecting us for lunch
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're 2 hours
Yeah.
apart. No, you guys, you have to sit down and have a meeting about the
Yeah, and you have to be really flexible. You have to be very flexible, because things can change
Yeah.
and they can shift, and even though the plans that you set might look a little bit different because something happened,
Yeah.
be flexible with one another. But I'm also gonna tell you that maybe our parents and you're expecting kids to come over or grandkids to come over, I wanna encourage you to have a conversation now with your family, with the kids, to say, "Hey, listen, we're gonna be here, or we're available, and but we're freeing you from any expectation of
Yeah.
what
Mark
needs to
Driscoll said
be,
that.
or
Yeah.
that you need to come here, or that we need to go there. What is your family doing? Like, we are free, especially like if you're empty nesters, you have a lot more responsibility than they may,
Yeah.
toting kids around. And so, if you're in that season of life, you're listening to this, or really, um, even with your like family and maybe your older parents,
Yeah.
like, just free everybody from the expectation that it has to be this way.
Yeah.
If you've always said it's got to be here at my house, maybe it's not this year.
Yeah.
People have always felt burdened. They have to come there. Like maybe you're going somewhere else. Like give them permission to be able to say, hey, whatever your family's doing, we want to honor that. We're going to be here
Yeah.
and we'd love to have you.
Yeah.
Or we're happy to go there if that works. What does it look like for you guys? Be flexible with that. And that helps, right? Parents with like younger kids, when they hear from their parents, like they have that permission. Because some just have a hard time making that decision. They want to please you, they want to make you happy.
Yeah.
And so just free them from that. Free them from that
Yeah.
by letting them know, like, it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
whatever happens, we can be part of that or not. If you're going to do your own family thing in the morning, like our daughter is, and we want to honor that. We're not going
Yeah.
to be with our older daughter during Christmas.
She'll be there the
She'll
next
be
day.
up the next day.
Yeah.
We spent one Christmas, our very first Christmas ever,
All alone.
all alone in Florida, in the
With neither one
Panhandle,
of the
with
kids.
none of our children. But we shifted and we made plans to have Christmas with them beforehand in California in the mountains, and that was okay. It was different for us, but it was okay. We didn't expect them to fly to Florida to be there just because that's where we had to be.
Yeah.
We didn't expect it. We freed them from that, and so just do that.
Yeah. Just be flexible. I think sometimes we get rigid with our traditions and then we impose these ideas on our kids. And I think, I don't know if you took that from a Mark Driscoll post
I don't
that he
know what
said,
you're
but
talking. No.
he talked about that because
Oh,
he has 5 kids and I think they're all married except one. And he's like, look, mom and I will be here and we would love to have lunch or dinner or both. Let us know when you can come. You guys go do your thing with your families. If you can't come at all and it's the next day or whatever,
yeah.
it's okay. It's like just
Or we're happy to
giving,
come to you.
yeah. And he gave them permission to do what they needed to do and that they would be there and that they would be flexible for them. And I
Yeah.
think that that's such a gift to give your parents. And I was so glad that we could give that to our girls too. Number 3. So the first one is pre-decide the when, the where, and the who. Be in agreement, have each other's back was number 2. And number 3, make sure you have dates and alone time. And this is what I mean. This is such a busy season. We all have work and holiday parties. We go shopping. We get together with the girls for the holidays, or the guys do things. And we've got Bible study parties. And it just seems like the calendar fills up so fast. And it used to be weekends, but now it's like the middle of the week too is just starting to fill up. And then you've got your kids who are in sports and they want to have a party
Yep.
and all these things.
Yep.
I'm asking you to protect your marriage and pre-decide what days are going to be a date night or we're going to have alone time. And that might mean saying no
Yeah.
to something you get invited to or
Yeah.
something you could go to, but is that really going to be the best for you and your family?
Yeah.
So, so when we have time alone during the holidays, then that's time for us to
We're
refresh,
always alone.
to slow down, to have a date night or a date day. Well, a lot of our dates are turning into date days, and so that we can reconnect because it's so go, go, go,
Yeah.
and
And
it'll rob you of that.
yeah. And so I also recognize that what you're doing when you're kind of setting boundaries and being flexible and being clear on this and coming to understanding with one another is you're actually teaching your kids how they're going to manage it. Because here's the thing, they're watching and they're going to be part of that. What you hold fast to in terms of your traditions, what your family has done for the holidays, where they've gone, who they've seen, what you experience, that's coming from your family of origin. You're bringing that in, you brought that into your marriage because that's what you did as a family. This is how we did things. And some of that's true, and then some of it you've added because now you're a blended family, or there's been some changes, and so you've added some new things. So you take all that together and recognize that your kids are learning from you, and they're going to develop some of their ideals around this. And the thing is, it trickles into every other area. That this idea of like setting boundaries applies to every area of your life.
Hmm.
Setting boundaries like with who gets to speak in your life or in your marriage, and the people you're around, the friends you're around, where you're connected, like all of this trickles in. So we're talking about holidays, but it applies everywhere else as well.
Yeah.
And your kids are watching. And so I developed some of this, we got together on Christmas Eve and we didn't open gifts till midnight on my side of the family as a Latin family. We don't do that anymore because all the kids got older, and then we were some of the first cousins to get married, and so we then had our tradition. And we had a family who was like, "Oh, you're not going to be here." You're like, "No, we're not going to be there because this is what we're doing now as a family on Christmas morning.
But
So we
we've
can't."
had family members say, "But we're family," and
You are
you are
absolutely,
extended family. But
yeah.
my immediate family is my wife and
Yeah,
my
and now it's
children.
honored, and so you just have to be hard and fast with that.
Yeah,
But you're setting also an example for what your kids will likely do, and trust me, it'll come back. Like we just talked about at the beginning of this podcast, we set that example for our daughter. Now it's coming back at us. She's doing the same things that we set with our parents, and it's healthy and it's good, and we
yeah,
honor and we respect that, even if you don't like it.
yeah,
It's not about you, even if you don't like it.
yeah,
That's this is what they're doing. It's for them. And
yeah.
would you rather celebrate the time that you do have, or complain and say, "Well, fine, we're just not going to come"? Fine, that's on you then.
Or do you want to
And that's just
manipulate your children?
immature and manipulating.
Yeah,
And let's not do that. Let's not
yeah,
be passive aggressive. Let's just be
yeah.
clear. Like, oh, that's incredible. Like, I love that you're getting to do that. We love to come over in the late afternoon, McKenna, or the early afternoon, or the late morning would be preferred, McKenna. I'm just saying her name is an example.
How about 10:30, McKenna? No, we're gonna.
11 maybe. um, so I hope that's an encouragement to you, because this is an important topic. That talk about it right now, get it settled, be clear on it, manage it as you go, and we'd like to hear back from you. Like, let us know how it
Yeah,
went, and let us know what you guys are going to be doing. Maybe we can share that on the podcast. Like,
yeah.
this is what people are doing to help manage, like, you know after Thanksgiving, going into Christmas, and it applies to parties and all that too. Not just gatherings with the family during Christmas, but parties, events, work parties.
I said all that.
Like, be really clear with
Yeah.
all of that.
Also, do you want to be a person who puts an expectation on your children or your relatives to come out of guilt, or do you want them to come because they genuinely want to spend time with you?
Yeah,
Like I
I
don't,
get to, not have to.
I don't want to guilt my children.
Yeah,
I want them to come over. I want them to invite us over because they genuinely love spending time with us and they
yeah.
enjoy that
I
fellowship
mean,
that we have.
that's a whole nother podcast about your relationship with your kids and how that
Yeah.
impacts then the time you spend together. So,
And I had a mom who guilted me into doing a lot of things. And I said I would never do that. So sometimes when McKenna's like, Mom, I want you over here. Like, you need to do this or we're going to do that. And I'm like, I have to remind myself my kids love to hang out with us. And I'm always so blown away because was my goal. But I just love that so much.
but it
They,
didn't just happen. We intentionally
no,
built that,
it
and we were clear
took
on
a lot
that.
of work to get there.
So
But yeah,
we're over what we normally do, but I just want to leave you with this also. Be present. Be present in your and during the holidays. That means wherever you're at, ask yourself this question: when you're somewhere with family, when you're with the kids, whatever you're doing, say, "Where am I?" And say, "I'm right here." And what do you have? I have this moment. Like, ask yourself those questions. Where are you? I'm right here. What do you have? I have this moment. Put the dang digital pacifier phone thing down and be present, connected, and available to your family. You don't need post pictures of the turkey and all these photos of just presents. Like, what are you going to do with those photos of the presents being opened? I know there's some memories that you can go back, but I'm saying,
I ask you
take your
this question
photos
all
and
the
then put
time.
it down.
You take pictures of like a random tree, and I'm like, who's ever going to see that picture of a tree?
No, there's only things I want to remember. But again, what I'm saying is, like, you know what I'm talking about. People are like on their phone constantly,
Hmm.
or funny videos of Christmas or Thanksgiving. Like, just be present, be available, lift your head up and see what's around you.
Yeah,
There might be somebody in your family that needs help or needs support or needs prayer, and then just don't miss out on slowing down during this season to
yeah.
be very present and available to your spouse, to your children, to
I
your family, and
I
to
like
those
what
that are
you just
around
said.
you who need you.
Yeah, I as we wrap up that what you just said, what an opportunity we have as Christ followers to walk into a party, a holiday gathering, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and be obedient to the Holy Spirit because there might be a family member or
Yeah.
a visitor or
Yeah.
somebody who needs what you have.
Yeah.
And a word of encouragement, a prayer, just a friend,
Yeah.
and you could be that salt and light for them in this season.
Yeah.
Isn't that what
Yeah.
the holidays are about, people?
Slow down this season.
This microphone.
We love and appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being
Yes.
part of the 24/7 Marriage Podcast, the 24/7 Marriage family.
Yes.
We love you, and we are, again, sustained by the work, by partners and by donors who come alongside and support this ministry on a monthly basis. So please consider giving here at the end of the year. You can go to the website. You can click the link below in this podcast as well, to be a partner and to walk alongside the work that we're doing to see marriages healed, changed, restored, and transformed. So we appreciate you. We're grateful for you. And remember, always in marriage, you don't have to.
You get to.
Talk to you soon.
Happy holidays.
No, Merry Christmas and Merry Happy Turkey Day.
What did you say? Kill the turkey and a savior was born and kill the turkey. Okay, we're
right,
finally
bye.
done.
Thank you for listening to the 24/7 Marriage Podcast. Help us expand our reach by rating and leaving us a review on iTunes. Make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode. For more information on the work we do and how to support 24/7 Marriage, head on over to 247marriage.org and click on Partner with Us. Until next week, remember, in marriage you don't have to, you get to.